Now we're shifting gears just a little bit on the show, and we are delving into the very intriguing world of comedy. And to do this, we're talking sustainability within the industry. As creatives, it is so easy to get burnt out. It is so easy to get tapped out. It's so easy to be clogged up by the realities of life. But then how do we sustain ourselves? Now, comedy is one field that sometimes that writer's block thing can, get in. What would I call it, Chuks the General? Would it be comedy block?
Yes.
Comedy block. Well, joining me on the show, Chuks the General, to talk sustainability in comedy. It's great to have you on the show. I've had you here before.
Yes.
Exactly.
Nice to be with you, Kachi, particularly.
Particularly?
Yes.
What's the particularly about?
Nice to be on the rise, generally, but nice to be in front of you, particularly. I must say that.
I am honored.
The last person you spoke to was somebody who traveled from London to Lagos.
Yes.
And I'm next, so that's fine. So I'll be traveling from Nigeria to somewhere, Sha.
No, but really, you should. Really, Chuks the General, you've been doing this for how many years now?
I've been doing comedy since 2006.
Since 2006?
Yes, because I started university in 2007 and I saw myself through uni with comedy.
Wow.
Yes.
So what has kept you so far?
When you were giving introduction about what we're going to talk about, I'm like, oh, really? I think it's actually very easy. No, it's easier, because it's not easy. It's easier to climb through the ladder of greatness. But sustaining when you arrive is actually very tactical.
Exactly.
It's it's mathematical.
So what's the mathematics in this? Because I feel like what we've seen over the last, I would say, give or take, if we're just going to use 10 years ago as a case study, comedy is a space where you have a moment and that's your moment. And then once that moment is gone, it's almost as if it's like so hard to find that moment again.
Yes.
So I feel comedy is one of the most difficult places to be. Music is different. You can release a song today, release a song, but comedy is different. So what's the key to that sustainability in comedy?
Okay, so I just tried to dive into your question to re-explain it, to say your question is very valid and on point, and then I answer.
Okay.
So comedy is very tricky because for music, I do a song titled "You Are My African Queen, Girl of My Dream." Shout out to Two-Face, and you inspired that song. Shout out to Two-Face, and then whether you see Two-Face or you don't see Two-Face, you like that song.
Yes.
Whether you see, not to call his name, whether you like the person who did any song or you don't like that person, you like that song.
Yes.
So there are three things to love. It's the person, the music that you see, and maybe the stage performance. But in comedy, so I do a joke today, and you hear that joke and you like it. That's the end of that joke. If I do it again tomorrow where you're seated, you're like, I bet this guy just did joke yesterday. But that You Are My African Queen, this man have been singing it since 1986. Sorry, I don't know the year, but that works. Since 1986 to today, and I still love that song.
I do too.
I sing that song with my wife a lot, and you inspired the song too.
Yeah.
If I do that joke I did when you knew me 5 years ago, you're like, oh boy, I bet, why are you not growing?
You don't
For that be your first, you like, Chuks, I noticed you would tell me publicly.
Yeah.
For sometimes you did one same joke, how far, what's wrong? So comedy is I said that to say your question is very valid. It's very tactical. So for saying that, now to answer, you need a lot of creativity. You need consistency. You need to be very business-minded about the act of comedy. Otherwise, you will not go far. Even if you go far, you won't stay far for long. Even if you stay far for long, you won't be relevant when you are staying there. So you need freshness, and comedy is changing. You have to be changing as it's going. For example, 2007, when I was in uni, I was in Enugu first with Ogus Baba and the rest, 2005, 2004. It was it's the audience you can see that you can entertain. So 6, 7, 8, so I was in Kefi doing school. I had to come to Abuja to entertain them, let them know me. How can I meet Arise? How can I meet this? I just kept doing that, pushing for radio stations. I go back to Kefi, do school, come back again. That was then. If I was I'm still trying to grow, but if I was trying to start up now, I won't do what I was doing then. I would just sit in Kefi, produce content, do nice skits, do look for me.
Yeah.
There's some people that you think they're in Lagos, they're not in Lagos. Some comedians that are trending very well, they are not in Lagos. They are just putting out content and it looks like they're in the capital of entertainment in Lagos, but they're not there. Lagos is calling them to come because they sat where they were and they gave us. So the comedy is changing. So today is like this, tomorrow is another way, next tomorrow is this way. You have to keep following it. When it goes to social media, you follow them. When they are doing skits, you follow. When they are doing, you have to keep. If not, the audience will move. The time where you have to gather 7,000 people to do the biggest show, 1,000 people to do the biggest show, people do that. But right now, I can sit in my house and I go live on any, we're sitting here, my guys are live watching what we're doing. I sit in the morning show, I love morning show a lot. Yeah. And I watch, I'm not there where they are, but I'm their audience. So sit down somewhere, put it live, and you're entertaining 1 million people.
Yes.
As against me going to sell tickets, do a show, gather them at the Hilton, however, you know. So it's changing every day. You have to keep changing to remain relevant.
You know, yesterday on the show, I was talking about hip hop, and I'm going to use this to ask my next question. And there's this situation where J. Cole referred to himself, Drake, and Kendrick Lamar as the big three. Kendrick Lamar now got angry. That's why will you say we are big three? There is only me, I'm the only big one.
Yes.
And J. Cole, you know, said something to Kendrick, but then he apologized. People were now saying, why did J. Cole say sorry? That he's supposed to be, that beef is necessary for hip hop to grow. I think hip hop and comedy are alike. Because it's the more you look, the less you see. Over the last few months, I used to think that all the comedians were best friends. But I'm starting to rethink that because it's like, how come on the screen, on stage, you have shows, it's impossible that this person has a show and you're not bringing at least 4, 5, 6 comedians.
Yeah.
But what are the realities if you are not actually friends? If you cannot come out to say or to vouch for this person, how does that work exactly?
I think the first mistake we do, everyone, is that we mistake the different levels of relationship.
Okay.
Yes. The moment you make that mistake, you are going to put your emotion out for people to play with it. So there are different levels. So there's friendship, there's relationship, and there's colleague. You know, so we don't need to go into, it's not a class.
Yeah.
I'm sure, but you know what I mean.
Of course.
Yeah, but for those listening, I'm sure they'll be fine too. But for colleagues, when we are comedians, we are colleagues. You have to get that. Everywhere you meet Alibaba, the first thing he says, maybe friends are there, he'll say, Akachi, meet my colleague Chuks. He will never say, he says that. With me, I will not say, no, you are king of comedy, or me, I'm just a young, but he shall knows that you are his colleague. Now, if you know that, you are going to maintain that relationship in the confines of that colleague. For example, if I need to service our relationship, I can check up on you, I can call you, that's because we're friends. If I need to do that to, no need to call him, to somebody who is my colleague, that checkup is not necessary, he's not my friend. Maybe when he's doing show, I can post on Instagram. So I just pick up, you are the one here, Catchy Life, if you're a comedian. Okay, let's say Mr. A comedian. I pick up that, I just post it. People that I don't know post my flyer. And I'm like, oh, what do you do? I just say, and somebody have follow. You know, comedians that do skits are very, they see them follow me. One guy posted my flyer and I went on his page and I saw 1,000 likes already. Even me, that I didn't get 1,000 likes. So I got to DM the guy. Oh, guy, who are you? What's up? He said, thank God you DM me. I wanted to interact with you. I want to start doing MC. So the guy is my colleague. So that's colleague love language. Check up, hi, can we go and drink? Can we go and eat? That's what colleague love language. So you are living your boundary. And when you do that, issues will not enter. You don't have, when we went to drink, he took my drink, he slapped me, he said my wife is mad. Well, that's bringing issues that are not necessary. So beef is constantly there because we leave our room as colleague. And try to step into friendship because of consistency in seeing each other or in working together. No, it's colleague.
But at the end of the day, like, how would you feel if, as a colleague, every time I came to meet you, it was because I needed something from you? Don't I need to build some level? Because the reality, like I said, comedy is one of those industries that collaboration is so important.
Yes.
But if I constantly am trying to collaborate with you, every time I have show, I invite you, but then you're not my friend, isn't that somehow?
No, we both have to have value. That's why we're colleague. So because there was no time to further explain that. There's value on it. If, for example, I need Mr. A for his show. Mr. A should need me for his show too. If it's otherwise, I offer myself. Mr. A can, I can. There's some people I call for my show. When they are doing the show, they may not call me for this year. They may call me for next year. Some people come for my show. I don't call them some people I go for their show rather. I don't call them when I'm doing giant speaking, for example. But they can come and offer themselves. They can come and say, okay, bros, I do skits for you. I can post this for you. Just offer value on the table. So for colleague, that is it. You got it. It's value for value. But for friendship, it may not be value for value. It can be Kachi has more money than me, she can give me. You are not checking value at that point. Yeah, Chuks is my friend. But when it's now Mr. MC A and MC B, you are doing value for value. If you switch it, emotions will enter and you will not know. Some people break through from being colleagues to being friends. It happens, but they have to know that it's still value for value. Man,
it's a crazy world. Speaking of sustainability, you've managed to crack the code because I find that being an MC now, it's like the hottest MCs are comedians. Have you noticed?
Yes, but...
And I don't like that.
Yes.
Because people are taking people's jobs.
Yeah, I support you to say don't like that. Because all the clients don't understand what I'm about to say now.
Okay.
So there are three kinds of people.
Okay.
They are comedians. These guys just crack jokes and they make you laugh. So a comedian sits in front of you, stand in front of an audience, just cracking jokes. They are masters of ceremonies. Their job is to just moderate an event.
Yes.
Yes, you belong there. they perfectly moderate an event. They can establish protocol, they can do everything, they can align it, they can make it flow. I've done an event at your MC and I'm just doing comedy. Yes, they can do that. But there are comedians who have broken out of this comedy circle and have got into the MC market.
Yeah.
The advantage why they will call me before they call that other MC is that I will still set this protocol very well, but
problem.
I'll put a humor.
Yes.
In it. Yeah.
You're perfect for icebreakers.
Yeah. But clients make mistakes. Sometimes just pick only comedians who don't know how to do MC and go and give them big events to just go and MC. They'll mess it up. But that comedian need to have left.
That explains a lot.
Yes, there are a lot of
because there's been several incidents where you're literally. I've been at an event. I hosted a little thing for the for the UNDP, and they had a comedian, right, MC alongside myself, and the man made. Get this, it was for UNDP. We were talking about, that was during the gender-based violence week. Yeah. This guy made a joke about women, this very sexist joke. And everyone just looked like...
Oh, you're very nice. Were you on stage with him? I'm not
I was.
No,
let me tell you what. At that point in time, I just stood, no one was laughing, and I just moved on with the event. They told him, you know what, he had to sit down the rest of the event. Yeah. Now, how would you address that? Because you just said you would have addressed it.
Yeah, no, first of all...
Because you don't want to embarrass your colleague.
Yes, yeah. I also need to save myself that I don't know this guy. I'm sorry, I'm that unnice. Yeah, because a lot of clients make mistakes. Maybe you just like somebody's joke. You just put the person into a high-level corporate event. Yeah. I've gone to one very major event and I had a co-MC. The guy was a comedian. First of all, I think maybe one day we'll look at competitions, MCs, comedies. Look at that topic is a very nice topic. The guy came, Chuks my co-MC. He came prepared with his village people that is going to outshine me. Unfortunately, I didn't come thinking of anybody. Yeah. So the guy thought that the best way to outshine me is to get into comedy. So when I saw the guy was, from beginning, let's just open the event, he started cracking jokes. I left the joke area for him. So when he's cracking his joke, I'm setting protocol, I'm putting everything in place, I'm speaking properly. I left him in that circle. He got the time he fooled himself. He just made one joke that the chairman was not too nice for the company. Just came and addressed it. So people make mistake of taking a comedian into being an MC. That's a mistake. That's not. Comedians are not MCs. But there are some MCs who have sense of humor because they have broken out of the circle of just being limited comedians to become masters of ceremonies.
And I think, because one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on this sustainability in comedy is because while you are still a comedian, you've also mastered the ceremony part, and now you are, I enjoy you when you host a show, because it's not as serious, but it's equally serious. So where there needs to be an icebreaker, you see, we are selling your markets now. Where there needs to be an icebreaker. No, but before I let you go, Chuks, I want to just know, are we out of that era where comedians are not so respectful, where they make disrespectful jokes? Would you say, because one of the things we talked about was this, the last time we were here, comedians making jokes that are just disrespectful.
Oh, yeah.
Or just saying things that, look what happened with Chris Rock and Will Smith. It was a joke. He's like, dude, it's a joke. But you saw how he reacted. So are we moving away from that era where people are now are making disrespectful jokes? And are we getting to a point where it really has to be bang for your buck, intellectual jokes?
Okay, so I'll try to wrap it up in about 1 minute. I hope I can. First let me look at the issue of making expensive jokes put alongside accepting jokes. So for the Chris Rock example you gave, was comedian to a comedian. It may really be an expensive joke sincerely, but from a comedian to a comedian, that's a topic for another day. But it's very not the same with you going on stage as a comedian and making very expensive jokes. That era should have passed by now. Anybody, there are no-go areas. Rape, sexist jokes, there are no-go areas. Nothing can be funny out of it. Even if the joke is on you, there are no-go areas. So there are, jokes on the comedian. Yeah. So I lost my dad 2 years ago. I had a very amazing joke I did on it. It is my dad. The joke is on me. Yeah. So, but the way I did that joke, you will love it. In fact, you will clap for my dad at the end. I used it on Christmas show I did. You will clap for my father where he is. But somehow it's a joke. But it's on me. I won't do that on the next person who lost his dad. Yeah. So there are no good areas completely. Comedians should be knowing that. And they don't get training. So they just jump on stage and mess things up. So for me, there are no good areas. Point clear. There are no good areas. We can't explain that today. About how do we defend it? No, there are no good areas.
No good areas.
But between comedians, you are still an audience at that point. Yeah. Please know that. So two comedians are talking about themselves. Chuks is entering one comedian. Just enjoy that thing as an audience. Don't bother to feel like Chuks is feeling bad because AY said this. We know ourselves. Don't worry. So that's why I said that matter of Chris Rock, I have a different view about it. We are comedians, a different ball game entirely. Then finally, I think that for proper, sincere view about sustainability, comedians and entertainers need to master the act of constant creativity. Very important. The job we do is to entertain people. And the entertainment level of people in Abu, the audience in Nigeria, they are getting more difficult to make laugh. So you have to keep getting creative. The more they get complicated in their way of life, the more because we have to feed our family, the more we have to keep getting creative. Creativity helps sustainability. And consistency is very key. Don't start doing an event and stop doing it. Don't start shooting skit and stop doing it. Don't start dropping songs and stop doing it. Don't start emceeing event and stop doing it. Consistency alongside creativity will hit you on a lane where sustainability is a short block.
I think we should just put a plugging it there. Class 101 on comedy. You said something about training earlier. I hope comedians watching this realize that we just gave them free training, literally with Chuks the General. We're going to pay you for that. No, we're not.
So who's the we?
No, we're not. Chuks, thanks for having me on the show. We're going to rather thank you for coming on my show.
I was about to just say now that I don't know if I'm the owner of the show now. Okay, but my name is Chuks General. This is Arise 360. And my guest here is Kachiofia. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for all being a part of this show. I just had her on the show.
Thank you for having me.
She just came from Area 1 to Area 2 like that.
Thank you for joining me, Chuks. It's always a joy. We're going to take a break. Chuks, do you want to do that? Do you want to say we're going to go on a break and we'll be right back?
Yes, I'll do that. Perfect.
Do that.
Let's go. My name is Chuks the General. I'm a stand-up comedian and master of ceremony. And this is Arise 360. We'll be right back after this quick commercial break.